The massive form of the Earth peacekeeping ship Defiant cast a shadow across the crystalline spires of the Celestial Alliance's diplomatic station. At 20 kilometers long, the vessel represented humanity's philosophy about peace in physical form, that true security required overwhelming defensive capability. Admiral Victoria Nash stood at the command center's primary viewport, her silver-streaked black hair pulled back in a tight regulation bun, watching the reaction of the Alliance representatives to humanity's first official diplomatic contact. The alien vessels scattered like startled fish at the Defiant's arrival. Nash couldn't blame them. To their eyes, humanity had arrived in what appeared to be a mobile battle station. The Celestial Alliance, consisting of 12 ancient species who claimed to have maintained galactic peace for over 100,000 years, had never seen anything like Earth's peacekeeping fleet. "They're hailing us again, Admiral," reported Lieutenant James Rodriguez from his communications station. "The Alliance High Council is strongly requesting we move our vessel back to the outer marker. They're claiming our proximity is causing panic among the civilian population." Nash squared her shoulders, smoothing down her charcoal gray uniform. "Maintain position, Lieutenant. Remind them that we're well within the agreed-upon diplomatic approach vector. Then patch them through to my station." The holographic display shimmed to life, revealing 3 Alliance representatives. The Luminary delegate, Ambassador Seital, appeared as a being of pure light contained within an ornate crystalline frame. Beside them, First Speaker Nyes of the Collective, a hive-mind species that manifested as a swarm of iridescent insects forming a roughly humanoid shape, shifted nervously. The third representative, Elder Korra of the Astrani, regarded Nash with 6 eyes that swirled with galaxies, their ethereal form seeming to float above the deck. "Admiral Nash," Seital's voice chimed like crystal bells, "your vessel's weapon systems are causing severe disruption to local spacetime. Surely you understand our concern about bringing such a militaristic presence to a peaceful diplomatic exchange." Nash had prepared for this moment, knowing the cultural clash that was about to unfold. "With respect, Ambassador, the Defiant carries defensive systems, not weapons of war. We maintain peace through preparedness and strength, not through vulnerability." "Preparedness for what?" First Speaker Nyes's voice emerged as a harmonic chorus. "The galaxy has known peace for millennia under Alliance guidance. There are no threats requiring such excessive defensive measures." Nash exchanged a quick glance with her XO, Commander David Webb, who stood silently at her side. They both knew what lurked in the long-range scans, what their deep space probes had detected. Humanity couldn't tell the Alliance about the approaching threat, not yet. They wouldn't believe it without proof. "Recent events suggest otherwise," Nash replied carefully. "The attacks on your outer colonies, which your reports attributed to spatial anomalies, our analysis suggests they were deliberate. Something is testing your defenses, and we believe dash." "Impossible," Elder Korra interrupted, their cosmic eyes flaring. "Those incidents were natural phenomena. We have maintained the great peace through diplomacy and minimal military presence. Your species' paranoia and militaristic tendencies are precisely why we hesitated to make contact when we first detected your civilization." Nash activated a secure data stream. "I'm transmitting our analysis of the attack patterns. The damage signatures match ancient records we've discovered in archaeological sites across our space. This isn't paranoia, Elder. This is dash." A priority alert cut through the conversation. "Admiral." Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice carried an edge of urgency. "Multiple unknown contacts just emerged from slip space. They're on an attack vector toward the diplomatic station." The Alliance representatives' images flickered as a dozen shark-like vessels of unknown design tore through local space, their hulls covered in symbols that made Nash's eyes hurt to look at. They moved with impossible grace, their weapons already charging. "Defensive positions." Nash barked. "Get our shields around that station. Rodriguez, warn the Alliance vessels to fall back behind us. Webb, ready the containment fields." The Alliance representatives watched in stunned silence as the Defiant moved with shocking speed for its size, positioning itself between their diplomatic station and the approaching threat. The unknown vessels opened fire, but their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against the Defiant's defensive screens. By the first light, Elder Korra whispered, "Those weapons, they're using forbidden technologies. Technologies that were sealed away eons ago." Nash's expression hardened as her suspicions were confirmed. "This is why we built our ships the way we did. This is why Earth believes in peace through strength. And this is just the beginning." The Defiant's defensive systems engaged, its massive hull bristling with countermeasures as humanity demonstrated exactly why they had arrived in the galaxy with such overwhelming force. The true test of two philosophies of peace was about to begin, and the galaxy's future hung in the balance. As the battle unfolded, Nash knew this was only the first wave. Somewhere out in the darkness between the stars, an ancient evil was stirring. Humanity had built its massive vessels not for war, but to stand against the coming storm. Now they just had to convince the Alliance to look past their fears and see the truth before it was too late. The EPS Vigilant drifted silently through the void of deep space, its massive hull absorbing the dim light of distant stars. Commander Raj Patel stood in the ship's advanced sensor lab, his dark eyes fixed on holographic displays showing data from the latest deep space scans. The attack on the diplomatic station 3 weeks ago had changed everything, and nothing. "The Alliance still refuses to acknowledge the threat," Dr. Isabella Martinez said, adjusting the sensor array's parameters. Her reputation as Earth's leading xenoarchaeologist had earned her a place on this classified mission. "They're claiming the attack was an isolated incident. A rogue faction using stolen technology." Raj rubbed his temples, studying the unsettling patterns emerging from their long-range scans. "They're seeing what they want to see, Doctor. 10,000 years of peace has left them blind to the signs." He gestured to the star map, where dozens of red markers indicated suspected attack sites. "These aren't random incidents. There's a pattern here." The lab's door slid open as Lieutenant Finn O'Connor entered, carrying a secured data tablet. "Commander, you need to see this. We've decoded more of the symbols from the attacking vessels. They match inscriptions found in the Omega Ruins." The Omega Ruins, a graveyard of ancient civilizations discovered by human explorers 5 years ago. The finding had accelerated Earth's peacekeeping ship program, though few knew the real reason why. Raj took the tablet, his expression grim as he studied the decoded symbols. "They're not just similar," Isabella breathed, looking over his shoulder. "They're identical. The same warnings we found carved into the ruins of a dozen dead worlds. They sleep beneath the stars. When the resonance peaks, they will wake." A priority alert flashed across the main display. "Multiple ships dropping out of slip space," announced the bridge officer through the comm. "Signatures match Alliance diplomatic vessels. They're requesting immediate assistance." Raj was already moving. "Battle stations. Martinez, O'Connor, with me." The trio rushed to the bridge, where the massive viewing screen showed 3 organic-looking Alliance ships limping through space, their beautiful bioengineered hulls scarred by familiar energy patterns. "This is Ambassador Seital," a strained voice transmitted. "We were investigating the disappearance of one of our research outposts when something emerged from the planet's core. Our weapons had no effect. Please, we need help." The vigilant sensors painted a terrifying picture. The Alliance ship's damage patterns exactly matched predictions from their archaeological studies. "Show me the outpost's location," Raj ordered. When the coordinates appeared, he exchanged knowing looks with his science team. The site sat directly on one of their predicted emergence points. "Multiple hostile contacts detected," Lieutenant O'Connor reported. "They're rising from the planet's surface." "Sir, these readings can't be right. They're showing biological and mechanical components, but the technology is beyond anything in our database." Through the viewport, They watched in horror as serpentine forms rose from the dead world below. Each was kilometers long, their bodies a twisted merger of organic matter and impossible geometries. Ancient machines built from the flesh of long-dead worlds, awakening from eons of slumber. "Get those Alliance ships behind us," Raj commanded. "Deploy containment fields and charge the pulse arrays. Martinez, start recording everything. The Alliance needs to see this, all of it." The Vigilant's massive defensive systems powered up as the ancient horrors approached. Unlike the previous attack, these entities moved with purpose, their very presence causing local spacetime to shudder. This wasn't a random encounter or a rogue faction. This was what humanity had been preparing for. "Commander," Isabella's voice was tight with concern, "I'm detecting quantum resonance patterns matching the Omega Ruins prophecies. These things, they're sending signals. Calling to others." "Transmission from Earth Command," O'Connor reported. "Admiral Nash is mobilizing the entire peacekeeping fleet. Similar emergences are being reported across the Outer Rim. The hibernation cycle is ending." Raj watched as the cosmic horrors approached, their forms defying conventional physics. The Alliance ships huddled behind the Vigilant like frightened children seeking protection. Humanity's massive vessels, derided as oversized and militaristic, now stood as the only barrier between civilization and the awakening darkness. "Send everything we're recording to Admiral Nash," Raj ordered. "The Alliance needs to understand what we're facing. This isn't about military might or peaceful intentions anymore. This is about survival." He straightened in his command chair as the ancient machines closed in. "All hands, battle stations. We are now implementing Protocol Omega. Let's show these cosmic horrors why humanity built its guardians so big." The Vigilant's massive hull thrummed with power as it prepared to face the very threat it was designed to combat. In the space behind them, the Alliance representatives watched in stunned silence as humanity's excessive defensive capabilities were about to prove their worth against an enemy their peaceful civilization had forgotten existed. "Would you like me to continue with Part 3, where we'll see how the Alliance begins to come to terms with this revelation and the necessary alliance with humanity takes shape?" The Grand Chamber of the Celestial Alliance hummed with tension as Admiral Victoria Nash stood before the assembled council. Holographic displays showed the devastating footage from the EPS Vigilance encounter, along with real-time feeds of similar emergences across dozens of worlds. 12 colony worlds lost in the past week alone, Nash's voice carried across the chamber. "These entities aren't just attacking, they're converting planetary cores into incubation chambers for more of their kind. Your peaceful approach to galactic security has left us all vulnerable." First Speaker Niza's swarm form rippled with distress. "The archives speak of such beings, but we believed them legends. Tales used to justify the military buildups of primitive ages." High Elder Korra drifted forward, their cosmic eyes fixed on a holographic representation of one of the serpentine horrors. "We were fools. Our ancestors didn't achieve peace, they forgot why we once needed weapons. The warnings were there, in every dead civilization we found, but we chose not to see them. The Vigilant's defensive systems barely contained 3 of these entities," Nash pressed. "Our projections show hundreds more awakening. Even Earth's fleet can't handle this alone. We need to work together." The chamber erupted in overlapping voices as the council members debated. Ambassador Seital's crystalline form pulsed with rapid color changes. "Our bioships are not designed for combat. We have no weapons that can affect these creatures." "Then we'll adapt your ships," a new voice rang out. Dr. Isabella Martinez stepped forward from behind Nash, carrying an ancient tablet recovered from the Omega Ruins. "Your organic technology combined with our defensive systems might be the key. The ancient warnings don't just speak of the threat, they hint at how they were once defeated." In orbit above the Alliance capital, the EPS Defiant and EPS Vigilant hovered protectively near the delicate organic ships of the Alliance fleet. Commander Raj Patel coordinated with Lieutenant O'Connor, overseeing the installation of modified shield generators on the first Volunteer Alliance vessel. The bioship's neural networks are actually accepting our technology, O'Connor reported, excitement clear in his voice. Their organic hulls are adapting, integrating our defensive systems into their structure. A priority alert flashed across every screen in the chamber. Multiple emergence events detected. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through the command channel. 30, no, 40 signals rising from the outer rim. They're moving faster than the previous waves. Nash turned to the council, her expression grave. We're out of time for debate. Humanity offers its full defensive capabilities, every ship, every technology we've developed. But we need your biological engineering, your understanding of the quantum mechanics our ancestors barely comprehended. Apart, we'll fall. Together, we might stand a chance. High Elder Korra's form expanded, their galaxy-filled eyes sweeping the chamber. The humans spoke of peace through strength, and we dismissed them as paranoid militants. Yet here they stand, ready to defend even those who doubted them. The Elder's voice resonated with ancient authority. The Council recognizes the wisdom of Earth's preparation. Let it be recorded that in this dark hour, humanity's foresight may save us all. The chamber's massive doors opened as engineering teams from both civilizations rushed to begin the integration process. Alliance bioships were quickly modified with human defensive systems, while Earth's massive vessels received organic enhancements that pushed their capabilities beyond design specifications. Commander Patel reports the first hybrid ship is ready for testing, Rodriguez announced. On the tactical display, an Alliance vessel now pulsed with the combined power of organic technology and human defensive systems. Its once delicate form had adapted, developing armor-like plates while maintaining its fluid grace. The ancient texts speak of a resonance key, Isabella explained, her fingers tracing symbols on the tablet. A frequency that disrupts their quantum cohesion. With your bioship sensitivity in our containment fields, we might be able to dash. Another alert cut through the chamber. Emergence event in the Carina sector. 5 entities, larger than any we've encountered. The tactical display showed massive forms rising from a dead world, their impossible geometries sending shivers through reality itself. Nash straightened, her voice carrying the weight of command. All ships, battle formations. Let's show these cosmic horrors what happens when humanity and the Alliance stand together. She turned to the Council. The next few hours will determine the fate of all civilized space. Are you with us? The chamber filled with affirming lights as the Alliance members cast their votes. Above, the combined fleet moved into position, humanity's massive guardians surrounded by newly enhanced Alliance vessels, their hybrid forms representing the first true cooperation between Earth and the ancient civilizations. As the cosmic horrors approached, Nash allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. The galaxy was about to discover why humanity had insisted on building its peacekeeping ships so large. Sometimes, the best way to preserve peace was to be ready for war. The combined fleet hung in the darkness above the Carina sector, a sight unprecedented in galactic history. Lieutenant Kira Yoshida stood in the EPS Defiance Quantum Research Lab, surrounded by holographic projections of the ancient entity's energy signatures. Her decade of classified research into the Omega Ruins warnings was about to be put to the ultimate test. Energy patterns are shifting, she reported, watching as the massive cosmic horrors approached. They're resonating with each other, growing stronger. The Alliance's bioreadings confirm my theory, these aren't just weapons or creatures. They're pieces of a larger consciousness. Admiral Nash's voice came through the comm, explain, Lieutenant. What are we really facing? The ruins weren't just warning about monsters awakening, Kira explained, her hands moving through the holographic data. They were warning about the awakening of a distributed intelligence that seeded itself throughout the galaxy billions of years ago. Each entity is like a neuron in a cosmic brain. The tactical display showed 5 serpentine horrors, each over 10 kilometers long, moving with impossible synchronization. Their twisted forms rippled with energies that made reality itself shudder. Behind them, more emergent signals were appearing across the sector. Commander Patel's voice cut in from the Vigilant. The hybrid ships are in position. Alliance biosensors are detecting quantum fluctuations unlike anything they've recorded in their history. The first horror struck without warning, its form bending in ways that violated physics. The nearest Alliance bioship, newly enhanced with human defensive technology, caught the blow on its modified shields. Instead of shattering, the organic hull pulsed, adapting to the attack. All ships, implement Yoshida Protocol Alpha. Nash commanded. The massive human vessels moved in perfect coordination with their Alliance counterparts, forming a complex three-dimensional battle grid. Deploy quantum resonance fields on my mark. Kira's hands flew over her controls, coordinating with Alliance scientists. The hybrid fleet began generating overlapping fields of energy, creating a pattern that matched the mathematical sequences found in the Omega ruins. If we can match their resonance frequency and then introduce a controlled discord. The cosmic horrors seemed to sense the threat. Their forms twisted together, creating geometric patterns that hurt to look at. Reality warped around them as they launched a combined attack that made space itself scream. Containment fields at maximum. Raj reported from the Vigilant. The hybrid systems are holding, but these readings are off the scale. Whatever these things are, they're trying to rewrite the laws of physics in their favor. Kira watched her instruments as the battle raged. The Alliance bioship's organic technology was providing unprecedented data about the entity's quantum structure. Admiral, we're detecting a pattern in their attacks. They're not just fighting, they're attempting to establish a larger connection. If all the dormant units awaken and link up, then we're not just fighting monsters, Nash finished. We're fighting the emergence of a malevolent cosmic intelligence that could reshape reality itself. She paused, processing the implications. How many more are still dormant? Based on the resonance patterns. Kira's voice trailed off as she ran the calculations. Thousands. Maybe millions. Hidden in dead worlds across the galaxy, waiting for the right frequency to wake them. The battle intensified as more entities emerged from nearby systems. The hybrid fleet's defensive capabilities were proving their worth, but for every horror they contained, two more appeared. The Alliance's organic technology meshed with human engineering in ways that surprised both species, creating defensive systems that adapted and evolved during combat. New emergent signatures detected. Lieutenant Rodriguez called out. Much larger than the others. Something's coming through from. Admiral, these readings suggest they're emerging from a dimension fold. The space ahead of the fleet began to tear open, revealing glimpses of something vast and ancient stirring in the void between realities. The cosmic horrors moved toward the dimensional rift, their forms aligning in a pattern that made Kira's instruments spike. They're not just weapons or sentinels, she realized, her eyes wide as the final pieces of her research fell into place. They're keys. Each emergence event, each battle, they're following a protocol established billions of years ago. They're trying to open a door. Through the rift, something began to emerge that dwarfed even the largest human vessels. The Alliance bioships recoiled, their organic sensors overwhelmed by readings from the dimensional tear. This wasn't just another horror, this was something that should have remained sleeping until the end of time. Admiral Nash's voice carried across all channels, steady despite the cosmic horror unfolding before them. All ships, battle formations. Lieutenant Yoshida, prepare to implement your full protocol. Whatever's coming through that rift, it's about to learn why humanity never stopped preparing for war. The combined fleet moved to face the emerging nightmare, human and Alliance technology working in perfect harmony. As Kira rushed to adapt her resonance calculations to this new threat, she couldn't help but wonder, had the ancient civilizations who left the warnings faced this same moment? And if they had, how had they failed to stop what was coming? The dimensional rift blazed like a wound in reality, its edges writhing with impossible geometries. What emerged could barely be comprehended, a vast consciousness given physical form, its body composed of interlinked cosmic horrors forming patterns that violated the laws of physics. The entity that emerged was larger than a small moon, its very presence causing ripples in space-time. Admiral Nash stood on the Defiance Bridge, watching as the ancient nightmare took form. "Lieutenant Yoshida, report. What are we facing?" "It's a quantum hive mind," Kira's voice was steady despite the terror of their discovery. The smaller entities were just fragments, synapses of a greater intelligence. This is what the ancients sealed away. A being that exists to reshape reality in its image. The Alliance fleet's organic sensors pulsed with readings that threatened to overwhelm their biological systems. High Elder Korra's voice echoed across the command channel, "The archives speak of this. The Great Destroyer. The reason 1,000 civilizations died to keep it sleeping. And now we know why they built the warnings into the ruins," Nash replied. "Not just to warn us, but to give us the key to fighting it." She turned to her tactical display. "All ships, implement Yoshida Protocol Omega. Begin quantum resonance sequence." The combined fleet moved with perfect synchronization, their hybrid technology creating overlapping fields of energy. Human defensive systems provided the raw power, while Alliance biotechnology shaped it with impossible precision. The fleet arranged itself in a complex three-dimensional pattern that matched the mathematical sequences Kira had discovered in the ruins. The Great Destroyer responded, its form shifting as it launched attacks that bent reality itself. Space twisted and warped around the fleet, but the modified shields held, human engineering reinforced by organic adaptation. Multiple planetary emergence events detected. Rodriguez reported. "They're all awakening, trying to join the hive mind." Commander Raj Patel's voice cut through the chaos. "The vigilance sensors confirm, if those entities link up with the main consciousness, they'll have enough power to permanently alter the fundamental constants of our universe." "Not if we implement the full protocol," Kira announced. The ruins weren't just warnings, they were instructions. The ancients found a way to defeat it, but the cost. She paused. "It requires channeling enough energy to temporarily destabilize local spacetime. The fleet won't survive that kind of power discharge," Nash realized. "We'll be torn apart by the same forces we're using against it." High Elder Korra's response was immediate, "Then we die protecting all of existence. A worthy end for both our peoples." The Great Destroyer's attacks intensified, reality fracturing around its point of emergence. More cosmic horrors rose from dead worlds across the sector, drawn to their parent consciousness like moths to flame. The combined fleet held its formation, human and Alliance ships moving as one. "All ships, divert all power to the resonance fields," Nash commanded. "Lieutenant Yoshida, begin the final sequence. Let's show this cosmic horror why humanity built its ship so strong, and why the Alliance's wisdom endured for so long." Kira's quantum calculations flowed through the fleet's hybrid systems. The Alliance bioships pulsed with energy, their organic technology harmonizing with human engineering in ways neither species had thought possible. The resulting resonance pattern created a counterfrequency to the Great Destroyer's own quantum signature. Space itself began to vibrate as two fundamental forces clashed, the ancient horror's reality-warping power against the combined might of humanity's preparation and the Alliance's ancient wisdom. The fleet's formation held despite the immense forces threatening to tear it apart. Energy discharge in 3. Kira counted down. 2. 1. The release of power was beyond comprehension. For a moment, local spacetime collapsed in on itself, creating a quantum singularity that engulfed both the fleet and the Great Destroyer. The cosmic horror's form began to break apart, its consciousness scattered across countless dimensions. In the final seconds before the singularity reached critical mass, something unexpected happened. The Alliance bioship's organic technology adapted in ways their builders had never imagined, creating a protective bubble around the fleet. Human defensive systems reinforced the bubble, their combined technology achieving what neither species could have managed alone. When reality stabilized, the Great Destroyer was gone, its consciousness scattered, its fragments sealed away in pocket dimensions created by the quantum discharge. The combined fleet emerged, damaged but intact, their hybrid technology forever changed by the experience. Admiral Nash stood in the Grand Chamber of the Celestial Alliance one final time, addressing the assembled council. Today marks a new era. We've proven that true peace comes not from avoiding conflict, but from being prepared to face it together. Humanity's strength and the Alliance's wisdom, combined, make us all stronger. High Elder Korra's cosmic eyes shimmered with new understanding. The humans built their great ships not for war, but for this moment. They carried the shield that protected us all, while we carried the knowledge to wield it. Far below the chamber, Lieutenant Yoshida worked with Alliance scientists, studying the data from their victory. The hybrid technology they'd created had surpassed all expectations, opening new possibilities for both civilizations. Together, they would stand ready, guardians united against whatever threats the universe might hold. The cosmic horrors were sealed away, but humanity's massive peacekeeping vessels would remain, not as weapons of war, but as symbols of a new philosophy, peace through unity, strength through cooperation, and the wisdom to know when both are needed.